What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me today. Excellent day. Beautiful here in Utah. Before I get going on this build, you read the title, you know exactly what we're going to be building. I want to urge everybody to go donate to the fundraiser for the AVA that's going on right now. I'll put a link in the description. Beautiful event. We, Chasing the Fog, we are gearing up to do a nice donation, and we're really excited about it. But this is a big deal for vaping. Let's all do our part. No amount is too little, man. Nobody's gonna give you shit, right? Like, let's say you got $1. You donate 50 cents of that, man. Nobody's gonna give you a hard time. Nobody. Only thing we're gonna do is applaud you, man. It's only what you can afford. You know? In the grand scheme of things, if every vapor donated $1 to this cause, we would have met our goal already. $1. Don't look at like the 10,000s and the big, huge donations on there and get intimidated by that. I do. But don't, man. It's what you can give. That's what they can give. That's what they gave. Right? Very cool, man. Very cool thing Rip's doing with everybody else involved. I want to thank everybody that's involved with that and give them a round of applause for really putting something together so we can get some serious results here. I'm really counting on Gregory to bring the results. I really am. This is huge for vaping, man. Let's get into it. The sapor RT from Wotofo is a 22mm version. I know they're coming out with the 25. Pretty cool. You've seen this before, but as you can see, top airflow tank. There's no airflow from the bottom. Kind of neat. Now this one's really hot right now, and I'm seeing a lot of people kind of skim over the builds. So I know you've seen it, but I'm going to go ahead and get to the build portion and build it in the way that I feel gets the absolute most out of this tank. Let's start off first. So we're looking at it, no airflow. We do have a ring on this. We do have a ring here. Does come off. I'm going to leave it on though. I favor the ring. I like the ring. First thing we need to do before we even get going, you need to disassemble the tank. This is what we're talking about right here. This is going right on there right now. All the way tight. Go all the way. We're all the way tight. Now what we want to do here is we want to move the pips on the sides of that pip. We're going to match it right up. And when you do that, there we go. When you do that, it puts the airflow right where they should be. That's right where they should be. Now we need to look at this before we build this. This is going to tell us where we can place our coils, and not only that, where we should place our coils. Interesting, right? When we look at this, I'm going to grab a pointer here. When we look at this, we got to imagine how the airflow will come into this tank. It comes through the top, travels down, goes through these 3 holes, circulates, and then comes right up. So where should we place our coil? Where should we position them to get the most out of this tank? Yeah, I think you guessed it. We want to get them up in the air, just above those posts, not too much higher, about maybe the height of the post, maybe just a hair more. I'll show you the height I go to. We want some of the coil in here, the front of it, and some of the coil back here. Because when that comes down, coils up and does its move right here, and it's like a split-second thing. It's like so fast. But when it comes down, boom, 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 we want it to hit as much coil as possible to get the best vapor and flavor we possibly can out of this. And can I tell you, this thing's a flavor machine. So now I'm looking at this, I see where I need to place my coil. We're going to want to get it pretty close to the post there. Hopefully I can get a little coil into this section here. And a little bit here. Alright, let's take this off. So how am I going to get those coils up there? Now you can build it normal. And when I say normal, I mean in the way of 1 lead here, 1 lead up here. like everybody pretty much does with every velocity style deck. I'm gonna go ahead and go like this. Like, think of it like a reverse Griffin build. And I do the way I build the Griffin in every tank I get that has that similar airflow and deck. Open that all the way up, and the same on this one, because these are the only two eyelets I'm going to use. Open that up. Yep, these are the only ones I'm going to use. There we go. Use the camera to make sure that I am open. Yep, good. Let's talk about the coils I'm going to be using. Pretty much most of the time I'm using this. This is a fused Clapton coil, 28 gauge nichrome 80 dual core, and 40 gauge nichrome 80 outer, all from Humble Wick and wire. I love their wire. You can see how shiny it is here. It's always clean and super nice to work with. We're going dual, of course. 6 wraps, 2.5 millimeter bit. There we go. And I've also kinked the legs. Note how I've kinked those legs? So when I put them in, it should sit. See that? There we go. There we go. That's going to help it go in. Simple as this. Let's load it up. Using the top 2 eyelets. 1, 1. Just put it in until it kind of stops. Now we're going to take your other coil. Spin around the base here. And we're going to lay it in over top of this one. Over top of the legs. Like you're just kind of over top. See that? And then just gently, because the legs are kinked, there should be no problem. Just wiggle it in. Take your time here. We're just eyeballing it for now. Oh, I feel good about that one. See that location of this one? Hopefully it'll stay as I pull this one in. And this is how I do it. I just kind of, just gently tug, just like that. I gently tug on the legs until it sits about right there. And kinking the legs will really help you in this. You know, they're already flat, and I haven't even done anything to them, which is nice, which makes them go into the 2 eyelets much easier. Now, you can build it the regular way and lift them up too. It's up to you. This is how I build mine. I'm going to go ahead and take my fingers, and I'm going to put pressure on both coils as I tighten down this one side. Get it snug so it holds itself. Like that. And I'm going to spin it around and do the same on this side. Make sure there's no adjustments that need to be made. Seems like we're pretty good shape here. And just snug it down. Now this is the point where I really want to look at everything. Now, yeah, the coils look mangled, right? Don't let that discourage you. Don't worry about it. We're going to fix it. I'm pretty happy with that. I think the location is going to be good. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. Really get a nice snug connection here. You always want your screws really snug on your leads. It's going to create a nice, strong, secure reading on your resistance, on your mods, as well as give you a nice performance. Nice, even glowing. Will really help with that. So now that we're here, I'm going to go ahead and clip these. Make sure you clip the right one here. Just get in there as close as you can. Keep your finger on it so it doesn't fly. Same on this side. Excellent. This one, climb in there. Just get as close as you can. We're gonna clean it up. So now we have these kind of jagged edges. See those? Where we cut the lead. I'm just going to take my tool and I'm going to push it against the post. I don't want the cotton to get hung up on that, and yes, it definitely will. On this side, can't really see it. There it is. Just press it up against the side, just like that. Again, hopefully I'll keep this one in the shot. And just like that. Good. Any more? Yep, one more right there. Be careful you don't slip and jam into your other coils or anything. So that's what we're looking at right now. Everything's kind of janky, kind of everywhere. This is where the rod comes in. The rod you wrap your coils on. One side at a time here. Get you nice and centered. I'm going to pop this in. I am going to push it to the side until everything tightens up. Just like that. Pull it out. Reverse. Finger on. Now I pull my driver out, put it on the other side because obviously we need to recenter it, right? So I'm going to use my finger to put pressure on the coil, pushing against the rod as I push the rod in. So I'm pushing this way as I'm pushing this way, like that. Nice and easy here. Just till it's nice and centered. And if it does go over like this one is, just come back the other way. There we go. Nice tight coil there. Same thing on this side. Pop it in. Push it over till it tightens up. Tighten up. Pull it out. Pop it in. Pressure. There we go. And now, anytime you do that, next thing you need to do is tighten back up your screws. Anytime you make an adjustment. Because these can back out pretty quick. All screws can, pretty much. So I just like to stay on these. Yeah, see, that one was loose. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to kind of look at things. I'm going to check the height of them, make sure they're even. Best way to do that for me is just to pull it right off here. So we can see right now that one's fairly high. I am going to drop that just a hair. I want to be just underneath. There we go. And this side I'm going to lift up. Keeping the shot for you. Pretty happy with that. Something like that. It's nice. I'm happy with the height just to the top of the post there. Let's pop back on the stand. And I want to double check some things. First of all, I want to double check on my barrel. I want to make sure that my barrel is clearing. Back it up to the pip. There. Really happy with that. Really, really happy. Hopefully you can get a good look at that. So we're in it, but we still have coil hanging out of it. You see that? I'm really happy with that. Airflow is going to come down, hit this coil right on the money. Right on the money. I'm so happy about this build. And then it's going to travel through and hit pretty much the entire length of this coil. I'm really happy about that. It's pretty well centered. As you can see, the center hole here will be our guide almost. It's hitting pretty much the center of the coil on both sides. Maybe this side. No, I think I'm going to leave it. Could maybe go over just a hair more, but I'm going to leave it. And I'm looking here. Nothing's touching. Can't beat it. So we'll go ahead and pull this off and throw it on a mod. Oh man, dude. Need a tag. Got my device here. A Rollo DNA 200. Screw that on. And anytime you build with nichrome, it will measure low. So we got 0.16 here. It should come out to about 0.22, 0.24-ish, 0.23. And I'm going to zoom you in here. There we go. So now we're going to pulse these up. That's exactly what we're going to do. I feel really good about where the coils are. Like I said, they are pretty well even as far as height goes. They are flat and they are right in the center. And we went ahead and put this top section on just to make sure we're clearing. So I'm really happy about that. I thought I saw something when I turned to the side. Yeah, that one. This one. I want this one nice and flat. With dual coils, anytime you build dual coils, whatever's going on one side needs to go on the other. If one side's flat, The other side needs to be flat. There we go. Here we go. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to turn up, we're going to crank it up about 40. This is about where I like to use this. It's about 40 watts. Strumming. You see it everywhere. Strumming is it's a nice technique to know, especially when you get into rebuilding. You know, if you're just barely starting to rebuild, this will help you a lot getting these coils to come alive. It really does. So we're going to talk a little bit about strumming and nudging as well. When I say I'm going to nudge it, this is me simply going just a touch. It mimics a pinch when you do that. You just touching it barely. It mimics this. Now I'm not doing it hard. Whenever I strum, I'm not doing it hard. I'm just doing it smoothly. I'm not using this edge. I'm not going like this. I'm using the back of this. These are my favorite tweezers from the vape kit. These are my favorite tweezers. These things are so tough. And anytime you strum a coil, make sure you're using ceramic tweezers. Let's get it. So I'm going to pulse it at first. Just touching the button. You'll see just kind of that's natural. It will go away. And I'm just going to keep pulsing. What we should see is pretty much all 4 legs glowing at the same time, which is classic with that flat on flat connection. So let's keep it going. There we go. Got some good brightness on this side. This side, not so much. So, strum. See how that other one came alive? I'm going to go ahead and pinch this one. Put some heat to it, let off the power, let it cool down and really set itself. I want these coils to stay right where they are. Pinch on this side as well. And then just hold on to it. Strum. That's it. With ceramic tweezers, you can hit the button and strum at the same time. Not with metal. If you do it with metal, you're going to pop your coils. You're going to cause a massive short, which is not good for you, the mod, or the device. It's just not good. We want to always avoid that. So we're getting some decent glowing right now, which I'm actually pretty happy about. Give it just a little extra down here. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think we're going to keep it. You know, anytime you build a coil and you're looking at it and you're firing it, you need to look from the center and watch it come to life in the center first. There we go. That's what you want. It goes from the center and it works its way out, and then all of a sudden you see that really bright sun color. Boom. I'm really happy with that. We're going to go ahead and leave it. Take off the mod here. Of course, being very careful not to touch it. It will burn you. So be very, very careful with this part. Mod off to the side. There we go. Back into focus here. Total measure came out to about 0.22 ohms. That's where it ended up sitting. After you know your resistance rests a little bit with nichrome, especially with nichrome, you'll get a total reading. But at first, it always measures low. Make sure you're using batteries that can handle the build. I'm really happy with this. Everything fitting really nice. Now, wicking it. You're like, well, Trev, by lifting up the coils like that, you've actually lengthened the length of wick, making it not wick as well. That's not true. I'm going to show you how I do it, man. And I get that. You know, if you can ever shorten up your wick on an atomizer, do it. It's going to help your wicking so much more. This is where you grab your favorite kind of cotton. I like Cotton Bacon version 2. I like Humble Cotton. I like Muji. And lots of different kinds out there to choose from. Pick yours. However, just try and keep it within these guidelines. So, I want a nice snug wick here. Not too tight, not too loose. How do I know when it's too tight, too loose? Practice. Can I tell you? Practice. It takes a lot of time to get it all figured out, to figure out how you do it. Patience and practice. But you'll know it when you're twisting up your cotton, when you're just kind of making a tube like this. You'll feel that it's right. It's just enough. So I'm happy with this. Let's thread it in. So we're going to pop it in, pull it to the side, and right here, I can feel like you can see there's pressure on the coil, just a little bit, right? So I'm going to pull on this side as I pull through smoothly, simultaneously. Ready? Spread it, drag it right there. Couldn't be happier. Could not be happier. Where am I going to cut it? I'm going to get some scissors. I cut it pretty much flush with the deck. It's pretty much flush. Just maybe 1.5 mil off. I do that on both sides. I'll spin it around. And let's do it again. Hell yeah, do it again, dude. I'm stoked. Right, twist it up. Nice, smooth, fluffy, compact tube. Always aiming for that. Point the tip in. Start dragging it through when you feel the resistance. Spread the length of the cotton and just be smooth. Be smooth. But you never want to be jerking it. You don't want to jerk that coil around. We know that it's glowing evenly from the inside out. So we want to try not to mess with that as little as possible. You really want your wicking to be done quickly. Like getting it through there, getting it set. Like I said, little practice, you'll get it. Spreading it will help. And just keep it even. Boom. And boom. And I'll show you what I'm doing here. So I'll pop that up for you. So there we go. Excellent. What's next? I'm going to pop this off. And we're going to get in a different mode here. This is kind of the mode I like to wick on camera. It's easier for me. And I know a lot of people like this way. When I do it this way, I just stand up here. I have a pick. It's a little dental pick. You can get these at Harbor Freight. And I'm simply going to tuck in. This thing has big juice channels. Just tuck it in like this. I'm not forcing it. I'm letting the base and that ring that I like to use, I'm letting the ring do the work for me. Just get it in there for now. When we juice it up, we will make it much, much better. And again, same thing. I'm just coming in from the outside and just pressing it until it pops into place. There it is. And you'll notice that even though we have the coils lifted up and all we did was use the very top eyelets on here, that we're not using that much wick here. You're going to get great wicking from this. You really will. No matter what coil I put in here, same wicking. Always the same. This is my favorite build for pretty much damn near every tank. Every tank I get, boom, I'm throwing in this fused Clapton that I like in here. That's what I like. It's not what you like. Always remember that. Don't go off what I just say. Check it out, man. Jump around. See what people are digging on. I do have a fused Clapton how-to video, and I'll link that in the description. And hopefully you can see here, I'm just gently pressing it in there. Letting it fall in. Any little scragglers, I'm making sure it goes in. This one might even be just a hair too long. I don't know. I'm going to leave it. We're going to be able to play with it here in a second. But as you can see, there's just barely some down in that channel. Now these have huge wicking channels. Huge. So you want to make sure, no matter how much cotton you put in there, it has to fill this top section up. Has to. Alright, there we go. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. It's really just kind of bare bones. Let's throw it back on the mod, because now we're going to juice it up here. And after we juice it up and you get juice on these coils, you can really, that's when you can really start to form these things. So all I'm going to do here, see how it's completely dry, right? Both coils completely dry. I'm going to take the juice you're going to use. This is from my e-liquid line. This is Waffle Maker from Chasing the Fog. I'll put a link down there. But you're going to put this right on each coil. A dot, and then hit the button. See how it sucked it right in? We'll do it again. On, fire. See how it sucked it in? I do this all the time. Now I'm not, when I put the first drop on there, I don't go goop, goop, and then hold down the button. I just touched the button. Literally, watch. Just touch. There we go. And that's how you're really going to get that core, the core of the cotton, completely saturated. And I'm going to do this till I can see that pretty much, see how the cotton's really starting to soak here? When it gets like that, that's when I stop. Come back in with the pick, and I'm going to form it to just how I want it. So I'm just going to take my pick, clean up everything here. I'm just going to drag my pick down the length of the cotton. I'm not pushing hard here. I'm just making sure everything's where it should be. See, that took very little effort. I'm done. This side. Same thing on this side. Just drag it. And what am I paying attention to here? That the top part of this section, I'm not worried about underneath here. I'm worried about up here. I want to make sure that is completely full with cotton. If you don't do that, you're going to create a pool down here. I mean, with the way this thing is designed and the airflow it has, I mean, obviously leaking is going to be pretty difficult to do. You'd have to fill the entire tank pretty much. However, you don't want a gurgly vape. And I'm just swiping down on it. You know, I'm pulling cotton from back here that might be straggling, and I put it into that pocket because I want it full. It's doing me no good over here. Cotton does you no good over here, or in the middle. It does you no good. Drag it, put it in the pocket. Again, same thing. Just, you can see I'm putting no pressure in. And if you do put a lot of pressure on this, you're gonna have a hell of a time fluffing it back up. So just be very mindful of that. It won't fluff up after it's wet. Not very easily. There we go. And that's pretty much it. So now you can really see it's a lot more uniform now. A lot more. See that pocket? But every wick hole, every single wick hole is full. There you go. That's it. So let's go ahead and put this thing together. Pull it off. And as I'm pulling it off, I'm seeing something I missed. I missed something. Right there. Now, why take the time to do all this? You're probably wondering. Now, these little straggler cottons that Redneck Vapor came up with called cottonria is what he calls it. See that little straggler right here? You're not going to get them all, but for the most part you can get them pretty well. When you're spinning on this tank, it could snag on this thread and completely jank up everything you just did. It's worth it to take the extra time. Just make sure there's nothing massive going on here. There's nothing really thready going on here that can catch on this threading and then screw up your wicking. So let's just put this all together, pop it over nice and easy, screw it down. And again, I'm going to show you one more time on that airflow. I'll have to back it up. Line up the pips on the side. That's how you know the airflow is going to be hitting your coils, right? Look at that. That's how you want it, in my opinion. You got some in the airflow holes, and you got some on the inside and the outside airflow coming in. But also they're up close. See that? Maybe I can get it to focus here. See that? Look how close those are. That's going to promote that really good flavor. I probably could even went just a touch higher too. But I'm happy with that. Last section. Top section. Nice and snug here. Give me just 1 second. Yeah, man, I totally forgot the top cap. I just washed it. Give me a second to dry this off. But yeah, you know, I mean, I just found this to really bump up the sapor RTA. I'm really excited for the 25. There we go. Got my piston mini drip tip. So now we're going to fill it. Now, anytime you fill these tanks, just back it up. Make sure that airflow, the juice flow, is completely off. There we go. It's off. Now we can fill it. Give it a good old hefty squeeze here. .22 millimeters. Holds just a little bit of juice. Great flavor. Done. Always leave air in your tank. Always leave air in your tank. Pop on the top. Back up the airflow to wide open. That's where I like mine. And there it is. Now on these pips, I'm just going to line this up. Done. We should get some bubbles here. Is that bubble? It's a good sign. Nothing's blocking the juice flow. Nothing's blocking it. It means juice can fly right in there to the wick and keep going. But not so much that it's leaking. Just enough to keep it soaked. Sick, man. Let's pop it on. 40 watts. Toque. Fantastic flavor, man. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at tjvapingreviews@aol.com or simply comment down below, man. And we'll see you at Final Thoughts, I hope. Catch you later, guys. Stay.